All right, greetings, class, and welcome to week number one. That is right, week number one of your 9443 class, which is your academic libraries class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin, and what we are going to do with this week's check-in video is going to be a course overview slash syllabus overview, and I will also tell you a few things about myself, a few things about the class, and I'll also show you how to speed these check-in videos up and explain to you why I do them. This video is going to be a bit on the longer side. Hopefully most of them will be a bit shorter than this one, but again, I'm going to show you how to speed the videos up. In fact, I'm going to show you how to do that right now so that you can go ahead and do that if you don't know. So, yes, I upload my videos to YouTube. One of the reasons I do that is so that it's easy to speed them up. Another reason why is so that people are able to get captions if they need to, auto-generated captions. They're not the greatest captions, but they work in a pinch, and then if somebody does need actual captions for accommodation, then please let me know. But that's also another reason why this is optional, why these check-in videos is optional. Okay, so I've got a song just pulled up here, a song without offensive lyrics. And if I wanted to speed it up, what I can do is go to settings here, this little icon here, playback speed, and usually if you speed me up to, and you can tell us about that surname, right? Alright, but if you were to speed me to that 1.5 or even that 1.75, a lot of times I'm still, it's easy to make me out at the 1.5 or 1.75, so you don't need to watch me at real speed. And the reason I recommend you do that, again, is because a lot of people who actually do podcasts or YouTube videos, that sort of thing, content creators, they actually usually do talk a lot faster than me, and a lot of people talk a lot faster than me because I'm from the rural South, I'm from rural North Carolina, so I just don't speak that fast. So if you need, if you need to if you want to hear things quickly, then by all means go ahead and speed these videos up, and I just showed you how. So the reason, by the way, that I do the check-in videos, they are optional, they are not required. Those of you who have had me before already know this, but they are not required, and what you can do is, there are basically two types of students. There are students who just want to complete the class and get out and get their A and go on. And then there are students who do want some sort of dialogue with the professors, some sort of communication, relationship with the professor, and they just want to have their iteration of the course be unique to that semester. And so for students like that, that's pretty much who I do these check-in videos for. These check-in videos a lot of times help create a dialogue. They teach helpful tips sometimes, but they're not necessary in order to get an A or A+ in the class. So it's really just about what your preference is, how much engagement you want with the professor, and so this is my added engagement. But yes, if you are going to watch a check-in video, this one might be a good one to watch because, again, this one is going to show you exactly what's going to be expected of you in the course. So let's go ahead and dive in. Paul. All right, so let's go ahead and make me small here, and let's go ahead and get us into student view so that things look more like what you will be looking at from your interface. So yes, this is, if you are on the home page, it kind of looks like this. Ooh, and I got to get rid of, oh, good, those aren't old announcements. I was like, I got to get rid of the old announcements. I thought I already did. But yeah, these are announcements that I kind of posted into the class earlier in the week. I was building the class. And I hope everybody's able to get into the class because nobody has actually entered the course and tried to do anything thus far. So hopefully there are not any issues there. But let's go to the syllabus and start talking about what's going to be expected of you. So let's go ahead and do this right here. And so you will see fall semester 2023. For the 9443 class, which is the Academic Libraries class. I am your instructor, Jason K. Austin, aka Dr. Jace. I hold a bachelor's degree from UNC Wilmington in English, graduated in 2005. Finished my master's in library science in 2008 from the North Carolina Central University, which is the only historically black college with an accredited library science program. And in 2017, I completed my PhD in library information sciences from the University of South Carolina. So that's me, and that's why I call myself Dr. Jace, because I have a PhD. But I am not going to lord that over you or be a snob in any way. Meetings. We have 3 synced sessions. We have 3 synced sessions in this class, and they are mandatory for you to attend. These synced sessions are on September the 12th, October the 10th, and November the 14th. These are all Tuesdays. They are all from 7 to 7:50. They may last a little longer. However, at 7:50, you are allowed to go. I am not allowed to keep you past when my Zoom says the class ends. So I can't keep you or force you to be there or penalize you for leaving at 7:50. But if the speaker is still going or Q&A is still going, we can go optional until 8 or 8:15 or whatever. We'll just have to see how those nights go. Zoom links will be distributed usually the week of. So if we're going to have the synced meeting on Tuesday, then Zoom links will be distributed through announcements. And by the way, the announcements in this class are mandatory. You do have to read the announcements. The announcements a lot of times will include optional links. If it includes an optional link, that content is optional, but reading the announcements themselves is mandatory. That's how I communicate with you all. I have an office number, 816-235-1875, but the easiest way to get a hold of me is by email or through a message in Canvas. If you're emailing me, it's austinj@missouri.edu. We can hold office hours at my office on the campus of UMKC. Or we can hold them through Zoom, and they are by appointment. So this course examines the culture, operations, and environment of academic libraries in the context of institutions of higher learning and revolutionary changes in communication, media, and technologies. The emphasis is on communities, cultures, and systems of scholarship. And let me skip down to topics include origins and continuity of intellectual traditions, impact of changes in media and globalization on academic institutions, collections, collectors, and librarianship, as well as service roles, organization, management, governance, and so forth. We will have guest lectures that will share insights on current issues and challenges. And in the academic libraries class, I also tend to have guest lecturers, not just in the sync sessions, but in some of the check-in videos as well. So that may happen, so be prepared if that happens. Hopefully I will get a few people who are willing to just speak to you all a little bit about some of the things they do within the academic libraries where they are employed. All right, course objectives. We are dealing with 2 of the SLOs in this class. The SLOs, by the way, are student learning outcomes. So SLO, student learning outcomes, and we are dealing with 2 of them. Graduates will apply the core principles, ethics, values, and body of knowledge to questions in library and information science according to their area of specialty. And SLO number 2, graduates will apply management principles and interdisciplinary best practices in library and information agency environments. So how you will be evaluated for 100 total points. There are 15 graded discussion board prompts with 2 points per each prompt. 1 point is for, sorry, let me make myself big here. Yeah, 1 point is for doing your own post, and you need to reply to at least 1 classmate. So if you do that, then you will have 2 points. There can be extra credit at my discretion, but in order to get all 30 points, you should have basically 30 entries into the discussion boards. 15 of those are original posts, and 15 of those are replies to classmates. 10 points for evaluating an academic library website. So there is a discussion prompt, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. But there is a discussion prompt due on September the 17th, wherein, oh Lord, hold on for a second. Let me pause. Okay, that actually was right, but again, if something seems amiss or like it's wrong, by all means bring it to my attention, because there are times when I'm just going to have discrepancies or inconsistencies in the course. I miss things, everybody misses things. We are all busy professionals, and so that's something that happens. But yes, due on September the 17th, academic library website evaluation discussion, we'll hit that. There are basically 2 essay assignments in this class outside of the discussion board prompt essay, but I'm talking about essays that you will actually have to produce in Word and turn into me and have to follow APA and all of that. 2 formalized, one is worth 20 points, and there's a prompt for that, and that'll be due on October the 15th. and then one will be due, the final will be due on December the 11th. And then also you have 15 points for just simply attending. But please do not just attend and turn your, please don't log into Zoom, turn your camera off and go away. I want you all to be engaged with the guest speakers, but yes, you get 15 points just for attending the sync sessions, 5 points for each session. There will be September the 12th, October the 10th, and November the 14th. And so really, yes, this course is not a very heavy workload course, and really there's no need to make an academic libraries type of course. There's no need to pile on the work in a class like this, because this is really a class where you're not learning a hard skill so much. You're just kind of learning the operations and the culture and certain things about academic libraries. Okay, so yeah, you only have 2 paper assignments, and then also 2 paper assignments, and then one that's more of a blog post that you put in the discussion area. Again, we'll look at that. So 3 written assignments in addition to the discussion boards that you have every week, and then attending the 3 sync sessions. So again, there's not a lot expected of you work-wise in this class. It's one of the lighter courses as far as actual work. Okay, grading and credit policies for this class, how it's going to work out. If you get anything at least a 93 up to 100, that's an A. 84 to 92 B. 74 to 83 C. 0 to 73 F. We do not give D's in graduate school. Now, I will say that I do reserve the right to award pluses and minuses, and I will do that. So if somebody gets if somebody has a 100 and they really just busted their ass the entire semester and really just impressed me, then their 100 will hit, or their 99 even will hit as an A plus instead of an A. By the same token, if you get an A, but if you get an A that's like right in that 93, 94 window, and I feel like you just did enough to get an A, but you really didn't put the effort in, you might see an A minus. And even if you get a 96 or something like that, if you get a higher grade, but I feel that the effort was lacking, like if you get a higher percentage, but I still feel that the effort was lacking, but you hit the problems in the rubrics and that sort of thing, it still may, if you've been lazy, result in you getting a minus. You just have to kind of watch. Okay, the graduate school does consider C plus C and C minus as passing grades, but I really recommend you all try to get at least a B. But most students try to get an A, and most students in my class do get an A. My classes are not hard, folks, and for those of you who have not had me in a class, they're really not hard. If you really, I would say that probably if I have a class of 30, 25 students usually get an A, and then maybe 5 get a B or lower. So these are not hard classes, okay? Definitely don't try to get an F, and we don't award D's in graduate school at this institution. We do have a required text, and it's from former Mizzou Professor John Budd, The Changing Academic Library, Operations, Cultures, and Environments, 3rd edition through ACRL, copyright 2018. You should be able to find you may be able to find a used copy of this for fairly cheap, but you are going to you're going to need this textbook, and I will say you probably should get the 3rd edition at this point. And again, hopefully there are cheap used copies out there. The 2nd edition just would not suffice at this point. I'm actually kind of loose on the weekly routine, so I'm going to tell you what it says, but then I'm going to tell you a few other things, okay? So the weekly routine does say that try to have your readings done and your original post up in the discussion boards each week by Wednesday night, and that way there are things for people to respond to. However, I do not enter grades until the Monday after the Sunday deadline, if that makes sense. So if you had to have your post and your reply up by Sunday at 11:59 p.m., I'm still not putting in grades until Monday. So as long as you get your post and your discussion up by Monday, by the deadline, but there's a little bit of a grace period. As long as it's up before I wake up on Monday morning, you should be fine. But I wouldn't chance it. I would still try to get it in by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. So you don't have to email me or worry about, oh, I didn't get my my original post up by Wednesday night. Am I going to get points? You were still going to get points as long as it gets up there by Sunday night. But the only reason why I say try to have your readings done and your original posts up by Wednesday is so that when people start trying to do replies on Thursday, there's something for them to reply to. But I'm actually really loose about that. But I have this wording in my syllabus just as sort of a cover your ass type of thing. That way I can just make sure that I'm protected. If somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do, I can say, hey, this is what the syllabus expects of you, and you have to abide by that. All right. This is a 3-hour class, so that means that you should be spending about 3 hours a week in the classroom, and that is just being in the classroom. But readings and assignments are on top of that. This is a graduate course. This is graduate school and not a correspondence course. I want you all to remember that. Reading course announcements is mandatory. Even if the announcements have optional content in them, the announcements themselves are not optional. You must read them. About the professor's participation, please know that I do read every single discussion board post, but I will not be able to reply to all of them. I have a lot going on in my life, as does everybody else. I know you all do too. So just know that I will not respond to everybody's comments, and please do not take it personally if I do not. If you need to ask me something, you can do it in the questions area of the discussion board, or you can also email me or message me through Canvas. I will try to respond within 48 to 72 hours, and if you have not heard from me within 72 hours, you actually can email me again and say, or contact me again and say, hey, Jace, or Dr. Jace, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I haven't heard from you, and we will go from there. And then also, yes, if a lot of people are asking me the same question, then I may just address it to the entirety of the class instead of sending a response that's just kind of, personalized to you. If everybody's asking me the same thing, I will probably address that to the entirety of the class in a video or an announcement or something like that. All right, late work policy, and this is something that you do want to pay attention to. So yes, again, this information is here so that I can protect myself. All late work will have 10% deducted per day up to 5 days, and then it will not be accepted. And this does not include discussion boards. There are no makeups for discussion boards, but other things. However, I will say this. I get it. I'm a human. I have a life just like you all. So if you cannot do your discussion board post one day because, do your discussion board post. But if you're a little late, if you're late on your discussion board post because you were sick, you got COVID, you were sick, you had the flu, you were sick, you had a headache, whatever the case may be, you did actually go to the emergency room, something like that. Talk to me when something is going on. And it doesn't even have to be something health related. If serious things are going on, if you have now the university actually does, you're entitled through the university to bereavement time of an immediate relative. So like, parent, child, grandparent, sibling. But also, for me personally, yes, if you can't focus because you lost your best friend or you lost your pet or you lost your neighbor or something like that, or extended family or something like that. If your heart just isn't in it, and you need a few days, let me know. Personally, yes, I know what it's like to lose a pet. I think that you should have bereavement for pets as well. It really does suck. So yeah, let me know when things are going on. If you had an injury, if you get arrested, if something really stressful goes on and you just need an opportunity because of the stress to catch up and you need a few days, just let me know. I will also say that, I will also say that it's not limited to bad things. So yes, if you have a vacation planned and you want a few days because you have a vacation plan and you want to spend your vacation with your family and you know that that's time you will not get back, again, let me know. Yeah, it's not unreasonable. It is not unreasonable for you to ask for an extension for something like that. If you got married on Saturday, I'm not expecting you to do your discussion board prompt on Sunday. Just let me know, hey, Dr. Jace, this is the wedding weekend. Can you please just give me some extra time? I will do that. I'm a human. I am flexible. But again, I do have this information in my syllabus just so that I can cover myself in case I am being taken advantage of or anything like that. Readings. The course presents a challenging reading load. So even though there's not a lot of hard work that you turn in, there is a lot of reading and there is a lot to absorb when it comes to academic libraries. Some good things, some bad things, some neutral things, some who knows whatever things. Both the required and the supplementary readings encompass such things as current articles focusing on the profession, historical material, theoretical material, and then also research. Now, incompletes. We have a policy for incompletes. Basically, if you do need to take it incomplete, though, you need to still finish up the work that you had left due in the class by really within the calendar year. So if the class ends in December 2023 and you needed extra time and to take it incomplete, then you need to finish the coursework by December 2024, or I will record an F as the final grade. So here's what we've got going on, your introductory readings. I'm not going to name every reading. Oh, and let me also say this. So I've not had an opportunity to actually update the links in the syllabus. That is very important. I have not updated the links in the syllabus, and you'll see that in one of the announcements. So yes, in order to get the links to the class, you do need to look in the modules. In order to access the readings, all of the modules, I have updated those links there. I just haven't done it in the syllabus. If I am able to do it within the syllabus, I will let you all know through another announcement. And we're not going to say what every reading is right now. We're just going to go through what the units are. So you have introductory readings this week. Do everything by Sunday the 27th. In week 2, we will start talking about history of the academy and of academic libraries and cover some things there. So you have assigned readings with that, so you'll get your historical foundation from there. In week 3, we will talk about organizational culture, because there are various ways that academic libraries are set up, and usually these setups are tactical, at least to some extent. If we scroll down to week number 4, governance, it is always good to know how your academic libraries are governed, what they expect from people who are librarians within the library, in order to get things like promotion, tenure, that sort of thing. And by the way, and that's something that I want to mention as well. So as an instructor in this program, because I've had this happen before, let me just say really quickly, there may be times when I'm a little slow getting back to you because of publishing or presentation obligations that I have got going on. I've also had people knock me in the in my student evaluation saying, well, I know the professor is writing a book, but this is his job, talking about my teaching. Well, writing the book was my job too. I have to, we are evaluated on 3 things. And if you become an academic librarian, you will also be evaluated most likely on these 3 things: service, scholarship, and scholarship includes creative outputs, so that's publishing and presenting, and then also your job, which in my, or I shouldn't say your job, but your main function, which in my case is teaching. In the case of an academic librarian, it will be academic librarian stuff. Okay, but that's how you get tenure. And also, even though I'm not on tenure track, I do have service and publication, presentation, creative output obligations. And so, yes, there are going to be some times when I'm a little slow responding because I am meeting a deadline or something of that nature. You just have to bear with it, please. Required readings for the governance, you will see there. Again, these links, if they are out of date, then go to the links in the modules. You'll see them there, and you'll be able to access those links, and they will be up to date. The assignments for the review of the website will be there, due on September the 17th. Unit 5 starts on September the 18th. You just have a crash course in administration. This is not a management class. You do have a required management class. So instead of having full-on academic library management, we just have a module, and that will, but it includes a full book that you will have as an assigned reading that week, and that is a free book. It's not a the only book you have to buy is the John Budd book. All other content is stuff that you should be able to access through the library or over the web. Week number 6, we will do organization and management of academic libraries. So that's a little similar to the culture thing, but you'll see how the structure sort of unit varies and is a little different. Unit 7, libraries and money. This is a big one, and it is even though public libraries are really the ones feeling the pressure of what's going on now between conservative states, conservative politicians, and libraries. There is still some, there are some implications for academic libraries, and there is some blowback for academic libraries as well. So we have a unit on academic libraries and money, and that is a big deal. It's something that you are going to have to deal with throughout your academic librarian career if you go into academic libraries. The system of scholarly communication, this may seem a little boring, but that's our week 8 unit, but some of you probably will actually maybe default into scholarly communication librarian roles, and if you do, that unit is going to help you know exactly what that is. And I do think that you know, a lot of people who become scholarly communication librarians actually really do enjoy the job, get off on it, and try to fill those roles for the rest of their lives. Unit number 9, collections. So I know you all probably have already taken 7313, but that's okay. 7313 does things more general. What you'll have in this unit will be a little more specific to academic libraries and collections. Number 10, electronic information and academic libraries. This is a growing area for all libraries, a growing area of concern, but thankfully it's been a growing area of concern now for a couple decades, so at least it's not blindsiding anybody anymore. Week number 11, communities, libraries, and librarians. So yeah, you got to get out there. The librarians actually fill quite a specific role in a lot of university libraries, and they do advocacy work. They're not just there answering questions for people. They actually do advocacy work on campus. So we want that from some of you all, and so you'll get a few ideas from unit number 11. Unit number 12, information literacy. This is a big deal. We'll talk about the framework. I remember the framework coming out. People have pretty much adjusted to the framework and its existence now, but it was something that was a big deal to people at one point. A look ahead, that'll be unit 13. In week number 13, we're looking toward the future. Future for academic libraries, I feel, is bright. Unit number 14, standards and evaluation. So we're looking basically at some things like including assessment and those sorts of things. They're big issues, and nowadays you actually do have academic libraries that actually hire an assessment librarian. So that's another career path that you should be on the lookout for. And then finally, safety and security, that'll be our closer. And then you'll have that final case study assignment due on December the 11th. But some of these, I mean, these things do happen in academic libraries. Sexual harassment does happen. Analysis of patron property theft, basically. Theft does happen. Harassment does happen. Where are the bathrooms? You do have to respond to student needs, including safety issues related to student needs in libraries. So that also plays a role there. So we'll go through these things very quickly because this is sort of boilerplate that you'll find in pretty much any syllabus. Decreasing the risk of COVID-19. This is an online class, and you should have minimal physical face-to-face contact with your classmates in this class. So I really don't anticipate this being too big of a deal. Academic integrity, don't cheat. If you cheat, I will. If you cheat and I catch you, you'll fail the class and you will be reported to higher authorities. Academic inquiry, course discussion, and privacy. Please understand that I will be abiding by FERPA, protecting your privacy and that sort of thing. I expect you to do the same for yourself and for your classmates. And there's another separate thing for FERPA there. Intellectual pluralism. You know, I do want to just say that, yes, the intellectual diversity of students is respected and appreciated. I don't even know what I can say now when it comes to phenotypical diversity, but certainly intellectual diversity is something that we will still maintain, you know, and have maintained respect for. And I will say that intellectual diversity is influenced in part by phenotypical diversity. So there's that, and I'm just going to leave it right there. Mental health, please do not suffer in silence. If you are in the Columbia area, there are mental health resources available to you if you need them. If you are not located in Columbia, still please visit the website and maybe contact our mental health office, because I still think that even though they don't have direct things that they can do for people outside of the state of Missouri, they can't provide them the counseling services, but my understanding is they are still able to give you referrals or that sort of thing. So still contact them if you need somebody because of mental health issues. Netiquette, please just know that sometimes sarcasm, humor, that sort of thing, it gets misread in online situations, and I am just as guilty of making infractions there as anybody else. Religious holidays and accommodations, yeah, just contact me. If you are, my religion, actually, I'm a Noahide, and you can actually Google that if you want. But Noahide is an Abrahamic religion, but it is not a very common Abrahamic religion, and so people oftentimes don't know what I'm even talking about when I say I'm a Noahide, but you can, again, Google that. But I say that just to say, so I am used to people having religions that have holidays that are not Christmas and Easter and the things that typically dominate here in the States. So, if you are Jewish or Muslim or any type of indigenous religion, East Asian religions, whatever sorts of things you may believe in, if they have associated holidays, please just let me know and we will make accommodations. And other accommodations can be made as well. Basically, just contact me. I will not discriminate against any of you based on your race, color, creed, sex, gender, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, age, disability, protected veteran status, or anything like that. You are all in good hands with Dr. Jace. All right, students with disabilities, please contact the disabilities office and work with them so that if I have some concessions that I need to make in order for you to be successful in this class, I can make them. So yes, I'm going to need your help with that. Again, contact the disabilities office and they will help both of us help you. All right, so let's go ahead. Well, first of all, let's look at the announcements. I am hoping, by the way, that everybody is able to even just get in the class and get going because really I was looking at the logins for people for this class, and usually people do a login before the class even starts, and I have not had anyone do this in this class so far. Again, we have guest speakers, so let's look at this announcement first, just so you know. Guest speakers are from 7 to 7:50 p.m. Central Time. Zoom links will be distributed. They will be on September the 12th, October the 10th, and November the 14th. On November the 14th, we know who our guest speakers are going to be already. They will be Sabrina Dick with Lawson State Community College, Brady Cross with Tri-County Technical College in South Carolina. Sabrina, by the way, Lawson State is in Alabama. Brady is in South Carolina, and Mike is in North Carolina at UNC Greensboro, and they will be talking about community college librarianship. My favorite job, you all, was when I worked as a community college librarian, so that I had like the safeties and safeguards and the comforts of an academic librarian, but then I also gave people real help outside of just helping them like find sources and things like that. I was helping people with their lives like a public librarian does when I was working at the community college, and that's because so many of my community college students were veterans, were ex-cons, were single mothers, and those sorts of things, like the types of people that I grew up around. And so, I had an affinity for helping those types of people. Our other speakers so far, I believe, are going to be Julia Pluta, who also teaches a class within Mizzou or CISL. And Julia is a law librarian over at UMKC, and this will be a discussion about law librarianship, which I would say is a form of academic librarianship. And you don't need a JD for all law librarian jobs. A lot of people think that in order to get the law librarian job, you need both the JD and the MLIS, and that is not always the case. It is the case at times, but it's also at times not the case. And then finally, Jennifer Hughes from Coastal Carolina University. She is not settled on a date either, but Julia will take one of these dates and Jennifer will take the other, is how I believe this is going to go down. But Jennifer will be talking about determining operations, hours of operations, and what happened with hours of operations over at Coastal Carolina was pretty interesting, so I think you all will enjoy hearing from her. Other announcements. This is my welcome announcement. Please read this over. But basically in a nutshell, what it's saying is do your Unit 1 stuff. I upload check-in videos, which I've already talked about. The first check-in video will be an overview, syllabus overview, which I've already talked about. I've not had the opportunity to update the links yet in the syllabus, and I might not get a chance, but the module links have been updated, so use the links in the module. Especially if you try to use the syllabus link and the syllabus link does not work, head over to the module and use that link. I answer questions typically within 72 hours. If there are discrepancies and inconsistencies within the course, bring those to my attention. I will correct those and then make an announcement about them being corrected. All right. And then a final announcement. I tried to get you all to send maybe like a test message to me. Nobody actually did that. So again, I'm hoping you all are able to access the class, and we are going to see this week. All right, so looking at our assignments. So when we look at assignments, we have, again, those 15 modules with discussion prompts. And so that's 2 points each week for 15 weeks. Also, we have the review of the Academic Library website. So you'll see your prompt here. Basically, you have some links here, and these links will help you determine what is a good academic library website and what is a bad academic library website, and what's in between, things that are good, things that are bad, so forth and so on. And you're basically going to write a review of the academic library website that you've been assigned. And I will scroll down and show everybody the assignments in a second here. But yeah, these are some of the questions that you're going to want to answer as you are putting your review together. How easy is it to navigate the site? Do you have to do a lot of digging to find contact information? Is the website better or worse than Mizzou's library website in your opinion? And all of you are going to be using Mizzou's academic library website in order to complete this class, because you'll be accessing some of your readings through it. So you should be able to make that determination. Is the site visually appealing and welcoming, so forth and so on. You will be graded, this is a 10-point assignment, and you will be graded roughly as follows. 6 points for giving a thoughtful review of the website, and then also 4 points for appropriate English usage and, whenever necessary, use of APA. And so you will also see, I'm not going to scroll down all the way, but you're going to see that all of you are assigned, you're all assigned a website. Now, if you want to switch colleges, you do need to contact me, and we'll determine whether or not that's feasible. But everybody in the class, if you scroll down, has been assigned a academic library website to review. And the reason I did the assignments there was so that we would have a good mix. We would have community colleges and R1s and everything in between. We would have for-profit colleges. We would have HBCUs. We would have community colleges, all of that. Teaching institutions, research institutions, everything. I wanted from all different regions, private schools, public schools. We needed it all. All right, so that is why I did the assignments there. Now we have 2 other assignments basically to talk about, and they are both essay assignments. The one that's due in October is going to be worth 20 points and does have a formalized rubric. You basically have a theoretical scenario, a hypothetical, I should say, hypothetical scenario here, and you basically do the assignment. You look at the prompt, look at the rubric, and do the assignment in a way that will cause you to get full marks in all of the rubric prongs. It's pretty much just that simple. And your second essay that will serve as your final goes pretty much the same way. A bit of a lengthier prompt, and I do have some kind of like some word limits kind of instituted, but that's for you to, again, follow the prompt, look at the rubric, try to get the full marks within everything. I will be doing a APA style video that just shows 2 common mistakes, and aside from that, using the Purdue OWL will help you with your APA, and you'll be fine with that, okay? I doubt anyone's going to have any real problems with APA in this class if you watch the check-in video that I do for 2 common mistakes, and then also if you use the Purdue OWL, or even if you have the style guide, even better, than using a style guide to kind of aid you through, you should be fine, okay? And so that's pretty much everything. So I do just want to close out and say a little bit more about myself, what I'm expecting, the type of dude I am, all of this stuff. So yeah, I'm Dr. Jace. I am originally from Soul City, North Carolina. It is a real place. Look it up, Soul City, North Carolina. I've told you all already where I earned my degrees, but I do have experience with all different types of academic libraries. So I've worked at a community college library. I've worked at a R1. My community college was Midlands Technical College in Columbia, South Carolina. The R1 was UNC Greensboro in Greensboro, North Carolina. And then I've worked for a comprehensive teaching institution, Coastal Carolina University near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I've also been a academic librarian for the University of Missouri at Kansas City, UMKC. And that institution, I would say, is, I would hesitate to call it a teaching institution because they do have like the dental school and the law school and some of those things that a lot of times, well, you have law schools at teaching institutions, but certainly medical school and dental school, I am hesitant to say that this is a teaching institution, okay? So I've been at all types of academic libraries. I do also have some experience as a public librarian, and I worked as a practicing librarian for roughly 11 to 12 total years combined, and I've been actually in the field of library science since 2006, okay? So I'm bringing a lot of experience. I currently live in a Kansas City suburb. I have a wife and daughter, and my hobbies are whatever they can be when time allows. I don't know. I just like to sleep these days. That's my favorite things. But I do exercise, and I want you all to exercise as well. If you don't have the time to exercise, that's a thing, because if you're exercising but not sleeping, then the exercise doesn't really help that much. But outside of that, if you have time to exercise, please exercise. It does increase your ability to do well academically as well. It helps your brain get going. It's not just for your physical body, it's for your mentals as well. So that's me. I do care about my students. I want you all to know that. One thing that kind of shows up in my evaluations is people say I'm defensive, aggressive, abrasive, those sorts of things. I'm going to just keep it real and say that I think that some of that is regional difference and some of that I think is racial bias. There's a certain way that me growing up around rural Black people, I had to kind of live a certain way, and I have a certain behavior because of it. And what I basically ask is that people meet me halfway. That's something that I always say. So I've made some adjustments. When I first got here to the Midwest, for one thing, I was dealing with a lot of people who had never had a Black teacher before. That's very common in the Midwest. So there was a lot that I had to learn because there was a lot that I find natural. Quite frankly, I'm gonna just put it out there. There are a lot of things that elementary school Black kids can take that I've noticed that a lot of people who are adults in grad school at Mizzou can't handle those same things. It's weird, but it's something that I've had to navigate, and so I've softened my approach up. But I would ask for you again to meet me halfway. So if you feel that I'm abrasive, that's something that never came up in South Carolina where I used to teach and where people tend to be a little more used to Black people than in the Midwest. I was never called that stuff down south. And so I do want people to consider, well, is he abrasive because he is abrasive, or is he abrasive because he's Black and that makes me uncomfortable? And I know people don't like talking about race, but you're going to be talking about race in libraries. DEI is still something that we talk about a lot. And even with recent court decisions, it's something that's an important topic in our field, okay? So I do want to put that out there. I'm a very nice guy. I'm very approachable. Please do not let any biases give you any preconceived notions about me. I want to see you all succeed, okay? And I do care about you all. And so, if I come off a certain way, it might just be a cultural communication nuance that I have. It could be a regional nuance that I have, because again, also in addition to the racial thing, again, I'll go back and say there's some things that people say and operate, and it's okay to say them in the South, and in the Midwest it throws people for a loop. So and that is something I want you all to be aware of. just because you grew up in the Midwest doesn't mean you're going to work in the Midwest. Some of you may have grown up in rural Kansas or rural Iowa or rural Nebraska or rural Missouri, but then you're going to end up working in New York. And I assure you, it's going to be much different from what you're used to. If you doubt me, just go out and do it. But I say that just to say, yes, you need to get used to people who are not like you. And again, some people in the Midwest, they just don't encounter black people until they encounter me. It's weird, but it's something that happens. And, if that's the case for you, just kind of bear with it. I'm not going to, if your knowledge of black people is based on what you see in rap videos and on TV, you may be surprised we may be a little more diverse than you thought. Okay, but we're going to get through this. We're going to have a good time. Hopefully, and I want everybody to be successful. So if you want to be successful and you want to work with me toward that end, let's do it. I am Dr. Jace. Peace and grace, and I will see you next week.